Hi, Siddharth. It's very nice to see you. Before we talk about Godavari e-mobility, you are one of the founding members for Godavari e-mobility, and me and the audience would sure like to know what kind of a background do you hold, and what got you to start Godavari e-mobility.
Hi, Vipul. Thank you. My name is Siddharth Agrawal. I did my graduation and post-graduation from Symbiosis Pune. I'm an MBA in finance. I joined my family business in 2003 after finishing my MBA. And my family business is mostly into steel and power, the core sector. So we have manufacturing units based out of Raipur, Chhattisgarh. And then we expanded a lot into solar segment as well. So we diversified into renewable energy in 2010, and that's where we've been looking for opportunities into more into renewable sector and more into less pollution industries. Moving forward, we were looking for some opportunities for further diversification, and we met somebody in 2018 who was exploring electric batteries, mainly batteries, into India. Then we got into a little bit of more of interaction. We visited China a couple of times to understand more about the lithium-ion batteries and the usage of the same. And then eventually we understood the basic core of the battery packs and all those things. And then we came out of an idea here, so this is one thing which can really turn things around in India. And that period of time, it was that India had already started hearing about electric rickshaws and electric two-wheelers which were already in the market, but they were mostly into lead acid batteries, because they were more cheaper in cost and more user-friendly, and people were used to using lead acid batteries. So we came up with this idea that why not explore this opportunity and use this lithium and batteries for mobility segment. So the idea was to come up with something which is very unique, and in 2019 we formed this company, Godavari Electric Mobility Limited. It was mainly to focus on a BPL category of people where the finances is the big challenge, and a better service and better lifestyle was a challenge for them. So we took a call that let's not get into the manufacturing to begin with. So what we did was we did a couple of tie-ups with one tie-up for the vehicle manufacturing and another tie-up for battery manufacturing. The cells we imported directly from China. So lithium-ion cells were imported by us. We gave those cells to a battery pack manufacturing company who used to manufacture the battery packs for us. And we were buying the vehicles from a company called Goenka Electric Motors. They're based out of Delhi, and they have a manufacturing plant in Sonipat. So that's how we came up with this. And then we rolled out this business in June 2019, where we offered the lease services on a minimum deposit by a customer of 15,000 rupees for 1,200 days, which is again refundable once the lease period is over, and charging them a daily rental of around 350 rupees on the operations of the vehicle. So the idea was very simple. He cannot pay EMIs, he cannot pay down payments. So there were a lot of challenges for that customer. So we gave him all the facilities available that is possible. So we gave them free services, we gave them insurances, we gave them lithium-ion batteries, which were much more efficient, much more long-lasting, had low maintenance, and the customers just had to drive this vehicle for maybe around 8 to 10 hours a day, and the average income evaluated was around 100 rupees per hour. So that used to give him a revenue of around 1,000 rupees a day, and we used to charge him 350 rupees. So eventually saving around 600 to 650 rupees per day, and an operation of 25 days, somewhere close to around 13,500 rupees a month, which is a substantial amount looking at the income what he must be generating, or what he must be comfortable with. That's how we rolled out the whole business plan. This whole plan was rolled out to a network of dealerships. So we created dealers across 7 to 8 states, around 40, 45 odd dealers. They used to do road shows, promote this business model to small, they used to go to their houses. They used to find out bastis jahan pe log rehte hain, provide them training, provide them education about this whole business model. And eventually we started rolling out customers. So there used to be a form which needs to be filled. There was to be a detailed customers KYC used to be done. Where I used to take the detailed information about the families, their incomes, the whole family members, and the categories and everything. So once this whole process was completed, we used to give the vehicle to the customer. He used to ride it on a daily basis. So we had this IoT integrated in the vehicle, where we used to monitor and track and ensure that the customer is satisfied and is having a decent run on a daily basis, and the revenues are being generated through that. So till March 2020, things really went well. We had acquired almost 500 customers in for maybe around 6 to 8 months time. But unfortunately, then the COVID came in, and the whole scenario changed, because these vehicles were mostly used for last mile connectivities, mostly used for in railway stations, public buses, transport. Public transport areas, smaller markets. But this whole COVID had given us a setback, and everything had gone on a hold. So we had also, taken a call to settle down a bit and move it slowly then. And whatever customers that we had acquired by time, we gave them those relief of not charging them rents. And in fact, we did not charge any rent to a customer for almost 3.5 months. We just made sure that he needs to survive this period, and whatever support can be given. So if he was doing some government job also, supplying some government medicals to anything, and whatever revenue they were earning that time, that was all gone to them. So, but during this period again, then we realized that lease is something which is again is not going to make this business go multi-folds, because the acquisition cost of a customer on a lease base is much higher. And then it's a challenge to make sure that the customer is there with you for 1,200 days. Eventually, he becomes the owner of the vehicle after 1,200 days, because we transfer the vehicle to him as well with the security deposit. But then 1,200 days is a very long period, and all these people are mostly migrants from other states, and they're here for jobs or the family settle down. So that was a challenge. And then again, depending on OEMs, it's always a challenge when you want to do multi-folds. So last year we took a call that we need to get into the manufacturing part of it. And then we decided that we should understand the manufacturing gimmicks of the business. And then we built up a team. We built up an R&D team first to start with, the design team. We started designing the vehicle and everything. And now I can say that we are in a stage that we are in a position to roll out all types of segments in electric mobility. So we are working on electric bicycles, we are working on electric scooters, we are working on electric three-wheelers, both categories L5 and L3, plus L3, L5 cargos. So we're looking at a manufacturing of around 8 to 9 products in next 8 to 9 months. Planning to roll out our first product somewhere close to April, which is going to be the electric bicycles and the L5 e-auto. And then every month we want to come up with a product. That's the whole idea. And we want to enhance our dealers network. So currently we're mostly based out of Central India and North India, but now we want to open up South India as well. So I'm planning to appoint around 30 dealers in South India. So the process is on. So we're expecting to have them on board by March end. So targeting 3 to 4 states in South India. So it's a pan-India plan now. So we're targeting to say by March, April, we are looking at a number of around 100 dealers to spread our network, so that we can have the lease and the retail model both in place.
Currently, what is the kind of investment that has gone in?
Yes, so we've invested around 50 crores so far,
Okay.
Which includes a lot of design, a lot of parts and components, build-ups and all those things, as far as the infrastructure as well. We are planning to invest another 100 crores in next 1.5, 12 to 18 months time.
Okay.
To expand the infrastructure, a lot of on R&Ds, product development, making sure that all the components and everything is in place, because we are not depending anything on international market. So we are developing everything in India. Only the cells which is used to make the battery packs for the batteries, and we don't have any cell plants in India. So that's the only thing that we'll be importing from either from China or Japan or Taiwan. But otherwise, all other components which is going to be used for making the vehicle and the battery packs is going to be in India only. So there's a lot of work which is happening on the backstage development of all these products and designing. So I think another 100 crores investment goes in next 12 to 18 months. And going forward, if required, then we are prepared to invest another 100 to 200 crores more. So we're looking at to build manufacturing capabilities and set up with all our integrations up to 1 lakh vehicles per annum in next 3 years time. And if things go well, then we want to double we want to multifold this capacity and maybe move to 3 lakh to 5 lakh vehicles per annum in 5 years time.
And where are you setting up the manufacturing plant?
This all setup is going to happen in Raipur. We already have created an infrastructure building of around 1 lakh square feet, which is already complete, and our manufacturing is going to start there. So that's already in place, and all my machineries and equipments have already been in place. So I'm hopeful that my first product should be rolling over in first week of April. Yeah.
Nice. So now when you say that you're going to develop the product ground up, so that means the chassis and the motor, everything will be developed in-house.
So currently we are doing a tie-up with all these manufacturers.
Okay.
So we are doing a long-term tie-ups for them for 2 years time, which ensures that my total projection goes in the production capacities with their setups. So in fact, with some manufacturers, we are developing a special dedicated line for ourselves. So because they have the experience of developing these chechis and motors and all those things, but what we are doing is we are tying up with a longer version so that they create a separate infrastructure for us within their own premises. So we don't have to build everything in Raipur. So everything going to come up at different locations. So we're going to do tie-ups with all these vendors, and we're going to create our own facilities within their premises and get everything down to Raipur. And then probably whatever the final finishing and the assembly is needed, that we got. Moving forward, there's going to be a lot of development in-house coming in, like the advanced BMSs of the battery systems, the electrical circuits of the vehicles. So all these things we're going to start developing slowly as we move on.
What about the charging network?
Currently, we are not focusing on charging networks because it's a challenge, So what we're going to do is we're going to give them an off-board chargers, which the customer is going to take with them, carry with them. It's going to be there with them always. And the charging networks, there are a lot of challenges because every charging network needs an infrastructure which has to be worked closely with the government agencies and the local authorities and the national authorities as well. So there's a lot of you don't still have clarity on the policies of the charging networks. So we're waiting for the right frame of policy to come in where we can actually work with the government bodies and try and build a charging network. But that would take some time. I think charging network infrastructure would only start happening in maybe 3 to 5 years time. So currently we are just focusing on giving them a sustainable charger, which is going to be with a warranty period of 3 to 5 years time. And they can use those chargers at their home, and which can be easily plug in 5 ampere chargers, which is not going to be any hassle for anybody to get that power. Yeah.
Just as a measure of future proofing, are these vehicles capable of CCS2 or any other universal charging technologies that are there? So for example, if I go to say a Tata Power charger or a Magenta or a Photon charger, can I charge the vehicle there?
No, that's the problem.
Okay.
Though all these pins that have been coming in, every charger has a separate pin. Every battery pack has a separate pin. That was I was talking about. The policy comes in. So if there's a policy nationwide which says that the pin has to be this, the male and female has to be particularly of this configurations, then it makes more sense, to do a charging network. That's the biggest challenge right now. So every battery company, every electric vehicle company has a pin of their own design, which is not universally acceptable anywhere in India right now. So that is why every company has to give them a special charger which is compatible for their vehicles only.
Now you already have some few vehicles on the road. So based on the usage pattern of the consumers and the feedback that you must have got back from them, what is the typical range of for each vehicle?
Currently, typically it's for a three-wheeler segment. If you talk about L3 e-rickshaw, it ranges something around 70 kilometers to 90 kilometers per charge. And when we talk about e-autos, it's ranging somewhere around close to 120 kilometers to 140 kilometers per charge.
Okay. And how long does it take to charge it up fully?
Sir, anything between 4 to 6 hours. So
Okay.
long distance vehicles and long distance charging systems are yet. That's where the charging infrastructure comes in. So if you want to do intra-city, that's where you need this charging infrastructure to play in, which is a little far away right now. So
Mhm.
currently the focus is to connect the cities within themselves. So people who are coming down for day trips, people who are coming down for a shorter distances route, so railway station to an office and back to railway
Mm,
station, or
mm,
maybe bus stand to an office and back to, or maybe some local markets. And the delivery segment is picking up very well. So the courier services from godowns to houses and warehouses to again customers' houses. So this is where all these vehicles are going to play a major role. So you talk about Swiggy, Zomato, so basically food deliveries are there. So two-wheelers are going to be very comfortable. They do almost 80 to 100 kilometers a day. So it's good for a one-time charge. They will get that much mileage, and they can easily do their deliveries comfortably on electric two-wheelers as well. So it's more concentrated on city to city wise.
mm.
Intra-city infrastructure would take some time, and
Okay.
then eventually you'll have to come up with the bigger battery sizes, and the segment changes altogether. Then so CMVR has its own norms for electric rickshaws, electric autos. It has its own norms for electric two wheelers as well. So if you go by those norms, then there is always a restriction to intra-city movements are it's not that comfortable.
So now, since you're also entering in the two-wheeler space in the future, are you also looking at swappable battery tech? Now, there are a few companies who are already doing that. So would you be considering that as well? I mean, is that on your radar, or like you'll be going with
So we
non-swappable?
have that in back of our mind, but not to start with. We might get into that swappable battery system maybe 2 years down the line. So
Okay.
currently we are just focusing to roll out the products. Currently we are focusing to create the infrastructure. And once everything comes in place, because the infrastructure we build is going to be eventually the same infrastructure we're going to start using for a swappable battery system as well. So first, the idea is to build a strong infrastructure network, because it's not only about it's also about then services, because there's always some challenges to the service part of the automobile
Mm,
segment. So if you get to the service part of it, the battery is lithium ion, so there's always something or the other which needs to be taken care of. And so the focus is to create that strong infrastructure, so that we can be assured that whatever product we are offering in the market is sustainable for 5 to 7 years period of time, and then slowly use that further integration of our battery swappable models or whatever we looking forward.
Finally, coming to the pricing. So let's say, like, if the current product that you have, uh, someone does not want to lease it out but wants to buy it outright, uh, how much will he have to pay?
Yeah, so that would start happening from April. So
Okay.
currently, because the vehicle that we are offering right now is from our OEM manufacturer. So offering a OEM manufacturer in retail is not a good idea, because eventually the warranties and the guarantees of the vehicles doesn't go on that way well. So once we launch our products in April, then we would be more offering both the release and retail model for the same products.
Okay.
So currently, my focus up to March is just on release right now. But as soon as I start rolling out my products, I would offer. It's all absolutely on the customer. So as he feels comfortable, we're gonna offer him the product that way.
And what kind of warranty will you be offering on the motor and the battery?
Sir, it's gonna be 3 years.
3 years. And
Yeah. So my vehicle will be fully covered for 3 years. Not only motor, not only battery. In fact, the chassis and the other parameters as well. We are warranty the whole vehicle as a pack for 3 years. But then the idea is to build a company which can provide a customer with a wide range of products with full commitment of services
mhm.
by the way of warranties and guarantees, and then actually showing the commitment that we can actually deliver on site as well. It's about being there in the market to ensure that if there is a problem, then we are there to resolve it.
Mhm.
So that's the idea. You want to build a healthy company over a period of time, and have a very high visions for this company. So investment is not going to be a problem for us, because we're not planning to take any loans on the company as if. So it's completely fully funded by the promoter families. And the idea remains is to at least up to 200, 250 crores. We have no plans of taking any loans from the banks or anything. So we are keeping a kitty of promoters equity of around 200, 250 crores over a period of 18 to 24 months. So that's not a problem then, so there's always have this opportunity to expand and grow. So we've been very positive about this whole segment. Yes, technologically, there would be a lot of challenges because things are going to evolve. The technologies, as far as batteries are concerned, is going to evolve. The vehicles are going to evolve. So we'll have to keep up the pace with the demands of the market and with the technology changes in the market. So yeah, it's a tough challenge, but hopefully we're trying to be there, and we are trying to say that we just want to be as a good part of the nation, trying to develop more and more, generate more and more employment and better livelihood for the people of India. Yeah, that's the whole idea about the formation of this company.
Like the vision of the company, as stated, is you want to provide self-employment and social upliftment. So you want to do work for the community is what the message that I get.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So what
Yeah.
is the whole idea behind and thought behind that?
Being one of the largest business family groups of Raipur, we see a lot of people around us and we see the struggle which is still happening. And it really gets painful when you see that you can bring some change in the society and you're still not doesn't have the right tool for it to how to do it, because industry, there's always a restriction of employment ratio. So you need technical qualifications as well. You need a lot of experiences as well to come up in industrial sector. But then how do you make sure that an uneducated person also gets employment? What's the basic thing anybody can do? So like from childhood, we always learn to ride a bicycle. You always learn to ride a scooty. That's something which comes in, with every human nature. That you are somehow getting used to ride all those things. And then when we were trying to explore this business, we understood that that's one of the easiest way. If you do nothing at all, at least you can always ride a e-rickshaw. Yeah. Well, riding a e-rickshaw is not as difficult as riding a car. It's a very
Right.
simple thing to ride an e-rickshaw.
The easiest skill.
And then
you can learn.
if you can earn, yeah, and then if you can earn 600, 700 rupees a day with your hard work, then definitely the things change then. So that was the whole idea of coming up with the lease model, because we understood the pain of financing. Because and before, we did study with a lot of banks. We had a conversation with a lot of banks and institutions who provide these financing services in automobile sector, and we understood that they had also a little bit of restrictions and their own kind of understanding of this electric segment of the electric mobility segment, financing the electric mobility segment. So that's where we thought that we can always come in, as in a basically a bridge between a customer and a bank with the services which a customer cannot imagine can be available also, and to push more and more and more and more people. So Raipur itself right now we have a clientele base of around 300 customers here, which was the first city we launched in 2019. And so we saw a great response in the city, and we seen that all those rickshaws have made their own community. They try to communicate with each other. They have become kind of a family. So so because we have these single color schemes and everything, so if you go across the street, you would be able to identify our rickshaw itself. So when you move around the town, we see that you have those 5 drivers of your vehicle standing together, having a cup of tea, and so you see that you've started creating some kind of bonding there. You started creating some kind of happiness somewhere. So that gives us a very good feeling. Yeah. So there was the idea that CSR is something you can always do it. Yeah. There's a requirement from somewhere. You can just send them money and it would be done. But how do you make a difference is what we were trying to achieve, and especially focusing on those cities where employment ratio is very low. So currently also we are focusing on a lot of small towns where we know that there's a high need of self-employment, and there's a high scope of education and all those things for their families and all those things. So we've created a committee which actually encourages them to, once they've started earning now, so we meet them regularly, we encourage them, because now you should start sending your child to a school, if any support is needed. So that's the whole idea. So trying to build a company which is based around creating more values for these people. So that's what's there in my mind, and that's in fact the thought process of the chairman as well. So he believes a lot in people. He believes that the strength is people. It's not money. It's not infrastructure. It's nothing. The real strength lies is in the people. And
True,
that's
true.
what you need to build around you.